But now I actually have my dad come to sessions, like the guitar and stuff.
Nice.
I'm like, you gotta get famous, Dad. Like, you're so good. Pro tip for anyone who's trying to blow up: DM a picture of yourself with your song playing in the background of the picture to a bunch of famous people and see how many responses you get. Yeah, I just have a lot of stripper friends. A lot. I don't like drug using culture, which is kind of counterproductive to what I preach. So.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk. Today I'm here with EMI.
Hey.
So were you born in Seattle or?
Yes, I was actually. I still live there too.
Yeah. And your parents, are they from there as well?
Yep. They're also still there.
What do
can't leave.
What do they do?
My dad actually drives Lyft right now, and my mom does like software engineering, and she also plays classical piano.
Oh, so you kind of got your like musical side from her? Yeah,
well, my dad has been playing guitar for like 40 years too. He's like super freaking talented. They call him White Santana. It's really funny. I'm gonna use him for some songs eventually.
What kind of music were they playing in the house when you were growing up?
A lot of like 60s and 70s rock and like classical music, jazz. First album I ever owned was a Beatles album.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a really big Beatles fan.
Were you ever in some bands?
No, I would like jam with people because I can play a few instruments. So like some of the guys would be like, I'll come over and like, you know, play some piano and sing, and so we'd do that for fun, but I was never in like a legit band. Yeah.
How do you describe yourself back then growing up?
I was kind of like a loner and just like a music nerd. I was also a shithead. Like I did a bunch of, you know, normal teenager shit, you know, where you just like sneak out and do illegal things and fuck around, but I grew out of it. And
were your parents aware?
No, they had no idea. Like they caught me doing a couple things, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Like they'd be like, I feel like you're a good kid, but like you're messing up here and there, but then like the amount of things that I got away with like is insane. I'm like, don't tell my dad. Sorry, Steve.
Did you like school?
No, I hated it. Because you know how everyone like learns differently? Like that model of education was just not working for me. It was like really constrictive, and I didn't get good grades, but I graduated. Like I have an associate's degree and everything, but I just more did it for like my family and just like to have something to fall back on. But school is not like an enjoyable experience, except for music class. I fucked with music. Yeah.
Nice.
But you know, I skipped a lot of class.
What do you do like in your free time then, back then?
I smoked a lot of weed. I did music, of course. Like, you know, I'd be home alone a lot, so I would just be kind of like, you know, messing around on the piano. I taught myself GarageBand, so I would be just recording myself and trying to make my own beats and playing with like multi-track layered recordings and stuff like that, and playing all my own instruments. That was like the majority of my free time, was just doing that, watching MTV2 when we had MTV2 and it was filthy.
Were you just watching YouTube tutorials and teaching yourself, or how did you pick it up?
No, I just like did it. Like I just like sat there and just clicked around until I figured it out, and then I figured out all the shortcuts, and that changed my life. Yeah.
Were you putting stuff out? Yeah. How old were you when you were doing this stuff on GarageBand?
I think 12.
Oh my
yeah, because
gosh.
before that I had like 2 tape recorders, and so I would actually do like multi-track recording by recording on one, playing it back, and recording on the other one. So you like bounce it back and forth. So I'd have like 6 harmonies going, but they get super messy because it's like a tape recorder. You know what I mean? It's like not the best quality. So once they gave us MacBooks, like in middle school for class, I realized they had like, you know, GarageBand, a recording program on it. So I was so hyped. I was like, this is changing my life. Like I can do this professionally now. You know, so I got a mic and just went crazy with it, and that's how I kind of like honed my like professional recording skills, because I was able to like do that alone and mess up, you know, and get like the technique down, because like singing live is so different from recording in a studio, you know what I mean? It's not the same skill set. So now I'm super quick in the studio versus like before it would take me like 6 hours to make a song. Now it's like 2 hours tops, you know.
Did you have friends around you who were doing music, or was it kind of just yourself?
I mean, here and there. Like my core friend group wasn't really into music. They have different hobbies and skills and stuff like that. But you know, my family's musical, so that definitely just made me inspired and I'd have like music friends. I'd call them music friends because it was just like strictly like for like I'd meet up with them, do music, and we wouldn't hang out otherwise. So yeah, I would say like I had people around me that were like creative and talented and stuff like that, but none of my like best girlfriends that I hung out with were really into it.
Were your parents helping you with music?
No, they they were kind of like insisting that I take lessons, and just kind of like at first they were not really that supportive because it's like you don't want your kid to do a job where it's like 1 in 2 billion people actually make money at it. They were like, that's great if you want to do it as a hobby, but they wanted me to take real lessons and learn theory and how to read music and stuff. I'm actually doing that now because I figured it would help my career. But they were always just like happy for me that I'm doing what I like, but they weren't like in my face in my business like doing music with me. But now I actually have my dad come to sessions like the guitar and stuff.
Nice.
I'm like, you gotta get famous, Dad, like you're so good. But it's nice to actually have them like helping me now, But when I was growing up, they were not. They were like, dude, you need to be like a pharmacist or something because this is not gonna work out.
But so when you were already young, you already knew that you're gonna be like a musician, like no matter what? Yeah,
it was just kind of like, when you just know you're gonna do something, it's not like, oh, I want to do this when I grow up. You're just kind of like, no, this is what I'm doing. Like, that's what it is. And then when you finally actually do it, you're just like, yeah, this is going according to plan because I knew I was going to do this. That's like what it feels like right now, where it's like, yeah, I'm doing what I thought I was going to be doing anyway. I never said I never told people because it sounds stupid when you're like, I want to be a singer. You know what I mean? But now I can actually say that and like mean it. It's great. It's really a lot of relief there.
And then, so what age were you starting to like be serious and put out music?
I'd say about 20. Because I didn't think I was good enough until I was 20. Like, I thought I liked my music, but I didn't think it was, what's the word, like, palatable for, like, the masses. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good enough to, like, actually make money off of. It was just something I did, like, for my own heart. But then once I hit 20 and I started working with, like, I think I was like 21 actually when I started working with Rex. But like right before I started working with Rex Kudo, I was doing, songs that were a little bit more like what I sound like now. And so I was like, this is dope. This, people can fuck with this. This is more, it's easy to grasp and it's still me and it sounds good. So then I started putting on SoundCloud. Once me and Rex started putting music out together, I deleted the old songs just for the sake of being like, just professional and start with a clean slate. And I just wanted it to be really cohesive.
So what happened? So you finished high school and then were you working other jobs or?
Yeah, I was working a few jobs. I did work at Starbucks. That was fun.
And you're living back with your parents? Or?
No. I moved out right when I turned 18.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm out of here. I lived with my ex for a while. But, moving out definitely made me and my parents have a better relationship, too. Because they respected me as, like, an adult. You know what I mean? Like, when you live on your own, you're just like, I'm a big girl. Like, yeah. But, I was living alone since then. I haven't moved back in. God bless.
So was it difficult when you were working those random jobs and then, like, what was it, at nighttime you would do studio sessions, or how was it? Yeah, it was, like, work, like, a few jobs. I did go to college, for a few years too. So what were you gonna study?
I just did like an Associate of Arts degree just so I could have like something in case I decided to get a bachelor's in something else later. But it was definitely a shitstorm. Like, it was like 2 jobs, just working on music in my free time, doing school, just living with someone who wasn't like, didn't have their shit together. So it was kind of crazy. Yeah.
So how did you get your music out there? Like, how did Rex even find you back then?
So pro tip for anyone who's trying to blow up, DM a picture of yourself with your song playing in the background of the picture to a bunch of famous people and see how many responses you get. That's literally what I did. Because when you send someone a SoundCloud link, I'm going to say this straight up as someone who gets SoundCloud links sent to me all the time, nobody is going to take the time to click on a link. That is too much work when you have that many DMs. Like, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, let me go through your SoundCloud catalog. You have to just put it in their face. This is what I look like. This is what I sound like right when you open the DM. Like, you click on it, the song just starts playing. So I sent quite a few people like my favorite song of mine. And Rex,
more like producers or?
Yeah, producers, rappers, singers, managers, like whatever, you know what I mean? And I got a lot of responses, but the one who really got back to me and like it stuck with him and really wanted to invest time and money into that was Rex. And so yeah, he flew me out and we started working together, and that was a lot of fun.
So the song that you were sending these people, was it, so you produced it yourself or?
The last one I put out, I co-produced with Shanti.
Oh, I mean the one that you sent
Oh, you're
to
saying
all
the
these
song
people.
that I sent to all the... Yeah. No, I think I downloaded a beat off of YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a YouTube beat. Yeah, I'm ashamed.
No.
But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, yeah, I did produce things myself at that point, but they weren't as good as, like, random beats off YouTube, because I can't use the software. I just play the instruments. Yeah. So when it's produced by me, there's an engineer recording me making the beat. You know what I mean? I'm not running Pro Tools or anything. One day I will run Pro Tools myself one day. I swear to God. But today's not that day.
Was it difficult for you to learn how to like be in a studio with someone and like record with them? Because you didn't really do that previously.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was mostly me. I think after like the second time, I was like, you know what? They're here to help me. I'm paying them. I shouldn't care what they think. You know what I mean? You can't spend your life worrying about other people's opinions. And so like after I got over that fear of like another person hearing me fuck up or hearing like my voice crack or hearing me mess up a line, I was just like, you know what? They hear so much worse people than me in here. So I was just like, got over it. Now it's like, I have some engineers that I'm so tight with. Like we have our own language, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I can be like, oh yeah, can you like da-da-da and like put the boom boom thing, and then they're like, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? Like, or I'll just be like, Tippy, and they're like, start the song over. Like they know what the fuck I'm talking about without me even like, you know, having to talk. And that's like how it should be. It should be like they're part of the machine. You know what I mean? I have one in LA and then I have one in Seattle because I record in both places. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's a dope car.
Yeah.
Is that a Miata? I can't tell. I think it is. That's cute.
I'm gonna show the guys.
Anyway.
And then how long after were you just like making money off music?
I'd say like when I put out my first song with Rex.
Oh.
Yeah, because then we started using like platforms that get your, you know, songs up on iTunes and Spotify. And the streaming is how you actually make the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody buys songs anymore. So you make, you know, a percentage of, you get like a few cents per stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and
like,
touring, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's your inspiration for like your branding? I feel like you have a specific style from like the photos on Instagram, even some of like the sexy photo, like videos.
Yeah, I try to kind of like, of me?
No, not
of the girls. Yeah, I just have a lot of stripper friends. A lot. You know, the industry's tanking, a lot of people are doing it. So. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like Seattle is like really inspiring, like that vibe and that culture over there. It just kind of made me like what I am. You know what I mean? Like if I grew up elsewhere, it would look completely different. Even just like my style and the way I dress, like this is not an LA outfit. You know what I mean? It's fucking 117 degrees here. But this, like I would wear this every day in Seattle because of the weather, you know. My music, you know, I spend a lot of time inside. Like it's raining all the time, so you it's like a mood. It's like sad girl shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not depressed by any means, but it's just like a vibe. I mean, a lot of it's just me. You know what I mean? It's just who I am. It's just, you know, I don't have to like pull from other people that much. There's people I look up to.
Yeah, you like
brand
Rihanna,
wise.
right?
I love Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like she can do no wrong, honestly. Yeah, I just love like strong women. Just people who don't take shit from other people. You know what I mean? I don't personally like use drugs or drink at this point. So I don't really include that in my branding as much. What's up? But I do condone, you know, the sale of whatever the fuck you need to do to pay your rent. That's part of my branding, which people kind of don't tend to believe or accept. But I'm not making that my whole brand. It's just a piece of me. You know what I mean? I don't like drug using culture, which is kind of counterproductive. to what I preach. So.
When you were first working with Rex, did you already have management back then?
Nope. He was like my manager as well.
Oh.
He played a lot of roles, yeah.
And then you found, after him, you found different management, or like how did it work?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I was just kind of working with someone he referred me to. Mm-hmm. And then when that just kind of went a different way, I just kind of was on my own thing for a while. And then my attorney, who I'm actually like super cool with, he's like one of my favorite people, linked me up with Molly Mall because he's also working with Molly on other business ventures. And so that's how I found him, and me and him just clicked like immediately. Like, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Like, he looks scary, and then you meet him and you're like, you're so fucking nice, you know? And he's just like, he's like the godfather, you know what I mean? He's the plug. Like, he has everything like wrapped around his finger, and he just like wants the best for me, and I feel the same way about him, which is cool. Oh, got loud. Watch us get hit on camera.
Oh my gosh. So have you signed a deal, or are you looking to sign like a record deal?
A record deal? So I'm signed in a production deal right now, but no record label yet.
Is that a goal of yours, or?
It's not like a goal per se. Like, I could take it or leave it. It just depends on like the situation. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone needs a deal. Like, Chance the Rapper didn't need a deal, you know, but he had a different situation that allowed him to be successful. Whether or not I'll end up needing one, like, we'll see. But I'm not opposed to it, and I'm not like obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, I need to sign this year. And we're not like looking, but if the right situation is presented to me and it, you know, it has like perks and I like the situation, then I'll take it. I'm not going to be like, you know, I ain't signed no deal, I'm independent, fuck labels, da da da. Because like, you know, they can be useful if you're with the right people.
What's the decision for Planet? Like, to have it part of your name or part of your branding?
So it's kind of like it's my handle name. It's not like my actual like artist name.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Champagne Poppy or something, where it's like a recognizable handle that, you know, it's easy. Because, like, you know, the company EMI, and there's just it's so hard to find my name on Google. It's like impossible.
I know.
Like, my search engine optimization is so trash. So I wanted something where, like, when you type that in, it's like you can find me easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But why Planet?
It's just kind of like, oh, this is my world. Like, welcome to my planet. You know what I mean? Like, Planet Emmy instead of like Planet Earth. You know? And that was mainly just for my Instagram at first. I liked that handle for myself. But then it kind of just like got like spread out on everything else. And then I ended up just naming my project that because it made it easier for people to find my Instagram. And also it fit the vibe of the project at the time.
Do you think you'll change your name to Planet Emmy just for like all purposes, to easy to find, or not really?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I like just Emmy. I mean, I could add a last name or something, but at this point it's just like, you know, Beyonce wasn't the only Beyonce at one point. And now when you type in Beyonce, that's all that pops up. So hopefully, you know, that's what ends up happening.
Yeah. What's your inspiration for Bad Friend?
My friends. 100%. Yeah. Like, I was thinking about it, like, we made the beat and I was listening to it in the car, and like the beat just sounded like a sexy girl just like walking around, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about it and I was like, my friends are all so freaking hot. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, nobody deserves them, you know? And so I just wanted to make a song about that, and just about how like you want the best for your friends, and you put them on this like pedestal because you love them and you have like a good relationship with them, and sometimes like men don't appreciate them the way they're supposed to be appreciated. And so that's like kind of what the song was about, where it's like I'm just describing two very specific people that are important to me and being like, look, they have their shit together, they have all these talents, they have so much swag, and they're so like independent, and it's like, just leave them the fuck alone if you're not gonna make them happy, you know? Like, I'm here to go on movie dates and go to dinner with them and go on trips. Like, we don't need you.
I love that.
Yeah.
How would you say the style of your music has changed since the early songs you made?
It's gotten so much better. Like, so, oh my god. Yeah, I finally got my sauce down. You know what I mean? Like, at first it's not salty enough, so you gotta add some of this, you gotta add some of that. I finally got the recipe right, and it's like, you know, it's like my coined style now. Like, back in the day, I just kind of sounded like I could have been anybody else. You know, when you're like young and you're not sure like who you are as a person, like specifically, and you just kind of like imitate whoever you like at the time. now I just like, I feel like I just sound like me. I hope I don't sound like someone else, you know? Like there's little flavors of whoever in there, but hopefully, you know, I just sound like me.
Yeah. How about the lyrics you write about?
They reflect, you know, whatever I'm living at the time. Like when I was younger, it was mostly about love. It was just like relationship problems and boys and stuff like that. And now that I'm older and more experienced and I've been through a lot more, I feel like my lyrics are just kind of like reflecting. I have a lot of stories to tell, you know, so I tell those stories. I talk about like my feelings that I can't say like in regular conversation, and it's good to like get out things that like aren't like socially acceptable to just like say to people.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you say you've grown as a person since you were younger?
I definitely know who I am now, and financially have my shit together. I'm not doing stupid things as much anymore. You know, I'm better at like using logic, and my brain's fully developed, so I'm making better decisions. You know, like I was kind of reckless when I was young, and now I just kind of like, I just want to make a shit ton of money and like go move to Greece and just like relax and like grow a vegetable garden. You know? Like I don't want to be, you know, in the middle of a bunch of bullshit anymore. And that's like the biggest difference. Like when I was younger, I was like run towards the bullshit. You know, if there's a fight, I'm like running towards it. I'm like, what's happening? You know. Now I'm just like, I'll leave y'all to your shit. I'm just gonna go.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far in life?
Honestly, like learning the music industry has been really, really hard. It knocks you down a lot. You have to be really, really resilient. You have to like know who you are, believe in yourself, because no one else is going to unless you actually start succeeding. And that's the fucked up part. It's not like something where they're like, wow, I see a lot of like potential here, I'm just gonna believe in you until it happens. They're just kind of like, you ain't shit until you're shit, you know? So it's like the chicken or the egg thing. But yeah, that's been rough, like just going through so many team members and just dealing with, you know, the public and all that shit. It's crazy. And then just, you know, regular life shit, like growing up and figuring out what you're doing with your life is really scary. Especially when you want like a career in like art or music and stuff like that. It's just like, holy shit, is this gonna work? Like, ooh, don't hit it, don't hit it. So close. I tapped a couple cars when I was parking today.
What does love mean to you?
I think it means like wanting the best for someone, like just putting someone else before yourself, and just like having it be unconditional. Like when you love someone, it's not like, I love you when you're like this, but not when you're like this. That's not love. That's just like being flaky and flip-floppy. Love is like, no matter what you fucking do, there is no way you can stop making me care about you. You know what I mean? It's like how you feel about like a parent or a child or, you know, a significant other. It's just like, when you love someone, you don't stop loving them.
Yeah.
You know, when when you had like that like high school boyfriend and you're like, I love you.
Yeah.
And now you're like, no, I didn't. Because you didn't, you know? It's when you love someone, it's just like, that's it. That's the end of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
I think my artistry first. Just being, you know, like versatile and being a good artist. And then second, like just for being a good person. Like I want to help. I want to like give back a lot when I'm in the position to do so. There's so many things I want to do with like my money that will like benefit other people. Because I only need so much money to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, okay, how many Teslas do I need? Like 4, and then I'm good. After that, I can like, you know, build like a community center or something. You know. Yeah, and I just want people to know that, you know, I left things better than I found them. That's kind of like how I was raised.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's just how I feel about the world right now, is like, it's so shitty. So if I can do anything to make it better and be remembered for that, that's like my ideal mark on this planet.
Yeah, I love that. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.